Hello everyone, Professor Toybox here. I've got Stitch with me, and I'm back in my Atlantis toy box working on level 3 of my randomly generated dungeon adventure, Return to Atlantis. Last time we finished up this ruined city on this plateau, and today we're moving on to the next area. Over here, we're working on this new little area. And my idea for this area is that this is all going to be filled with lava initially. And we'll have to push a button to drain it so that we can get down into this area and across the way to pick up that key, which will unlock this gate over here. And then, in order to get across those vents over there, which are going to be spewing all kinds of smoke because we lowered the lava, we'll have to raise the lava back up again, and the button will be down there, which should make for an interesting run to get out of that area as the lava rises. And so that's the puzzle that we're going to be working on today. And so to start with, we're going to go ahead and come in here. I've already dropped down 2 very large lava blocks from the blocks drawer. And we're going to connect those up to 2 different paths. So we're going to come in here first and try to center this on one of these. I guess we'll do this one first, since this is below the other one. So I think, let's see, looks like that's about center that way, and that's about center that way. So we'll try that. If we have to, we can move this. This is not going to be high enough. So the block, I want it to fill this entire area, and the lava block is 1 block thick, so that should be about here. And when we drain it, I want it to come to there. Okay, so go ahead and set the properties for this. Active is fine. Speed, I'm going to take my first best guess at this and maybe try 20. Auto start objects, nope. So we'll back out of that. And we'll come down and connect the path up to the block, or rather the block to the path. So new path connection. There we go. And now that filled this area with lava. And it looks like it's off just a little bit. Let's see, how is it this way? Looks like it's fine in the horizontal. I'm going to move this path over just 1 position. And the point below will also have to move. There we go. And now to get the block to reset, you'll notice that doesn't automatically do that. We'll come in here and delete that link. And come back down and reattach it. And that will put it in the new location. There we go. So now we got an area partially filled with lava. Now we got to do the same thing for the other block. The nice thing is I've already figured out 1 dimension here, so I can kind of line it up. So we can come over this way, and I believe, if I remember right when I was looking at this earlier, that should be about right. And the other point on this should drop to there. Now we'll do the same thing and set the properties. Let's see. Speed 20, auto start off. New path. So now we have a whole big area filled with lava. And I was hoping we wouldn't have that little hiccup with the overlap. The other option is I can use a smaller block for that other section, several of them in fact, but you'll notice the lava is a much finer look. So I would have to use either a number of these blocks, 2 of them this way, but the lava wouldn't quite match the look of that. So I don't know, I'll have to see how that works. That might be fine. We'll continue on for now and see. That might not be too bad. It's a little bit glitchy. But I might be able to live with that. Okay, so now we need a couple of buttons to raise and lower this. So now we'll start with Creativitoys. And I could use the standard action button, but I think I'm going to use the button casing. I just like the look of that better. I don't really need the delay. When you push that, then the little door closes for a period of time. Don't really need that feature, but I like the look of the button. It just kind of fits the area here a little bit. So we'll go ahead and put the second one down here. And then we're also going to need a logic gate. And my thinking here is that when you push the button up top, I don't want to have that. Oops, put that there. I don't want to have the player, or let the player be able to run out of that whole area and come back up here to this button to fill the lava up. I want them to do it down below because I think it's going to be fun trying to outrun the lava. And so we're going to pass the signal through a couple of logic gates here. So, new logic connection, when pressed, we'll come over to here and do input. And then from here, on output, we're going to come over to each of the 2 blocks and start them moving. And I'll set the block properties here in a moment. And new logic connection on output, come over to the other block and do the same thing. Now for each of these blocks, come under properties, toy box path. I don't think I need to set the speed on this. So we'll leave that as 100. All of those are fine. The movement style, however, I want to change to back and forth. And the same for the other block. I want the movement style to be back and forth. Okay. All right. So now when I push the button, this will keep moving unless I set some properties on each of these path points. It'll just keep going up and down. So we'll come down here and new logic connection when point reached by object on the path, which would be this block. I want to go ahead and stop. And the same thing over here on this point. Where am I? Too far down. There we go. New logic connection when point reached by object on path. Go ahead and stop. And that should take it down. And then for the other path point, I want to do the same thing. So new logic connection. When point reached by object on path. This is for the return coming back up, because I don't want it to fill up and then drain again. Go ahead and stop. And point reached by object on path. Go ahead and stop. Alright, and then on this button, new logic connection when pressed. Go to this gate, input, and on output, we're going to go to each of the 2 blocks and start them moving. So this will start them moving, and then when they reach the point, then they'll go ahead and stop moving at that point. New logic connection on output. Start. Okay, and to ensure that I can only use each button for one direction, what I want to do is, when the button here is pushed, not only do I want to output to that gate in order to start it moving, I want to go ahead and open this guy's gate. And likewise, when I push this button, I want to open this gate. And now when this gate is open, we'll come down and close the other one. And when that gate is opened, we'll come up and close this one. So what that'll do is I'm going to push this button, and that will route it through the gate and start the blocks moving. It'll also open the gate down here, which will turn around and close this gate, which means then I can't push this button again to raise the lava. I can only push it to lower it. And likewise, when I'm down here and I push this button, that will send the signal through here to raise the lava, and it'll also open up this gate, which will unlock essentially that button, and this will turn around and close this gate, which will essentially lock that button. So each button can only be used one way, and we'll go ahead and test that. So if we come up here and we hit the button, there's the lava draining. Hey, that's kind of a cool effect, isn't it? This is the first time I've actually seen this in use. I played around with a smaller scale, but I didn't really have anything under the lava. Oh, that is neat. I like how that turned out. So now if we come back over to this button and we try to use it, you'll notice the lava is not moving because that button, the logic gate that goes with that button, is closed. So the only way to raise the lava is to come down here to this other button. Which, that's interesting. There should be a button there that lets me push that. I didn't change the cooldown time. there's nothing here that will let me do this. I wonder if you can only have one of these buttons in here at a time. Oh, that would be a bummer. Alright, well, that's easy enough to do, I guess. I'll play around with that a little bit more offline. We'll go ahead and substitute in a regular button for now. I really like the look of that button too. It's odd that the second one I put down looks so odd. Okay, so on this one, when that's pressed, we're going to input to that gate. And when that's pressed, we're going to open this gate. There we go. Alright. So now we can press that button. And run like mad. Here comes the lava! Whoa! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Whoa! I didn't quite make it. Ah, that's funny. Okay, so I think the speed on this, we're going to want to tweak this just a little bit. That was actually not a bad speed until you get to that part where you got to run across that bridge. So we're going to go ahead and set this to, let's try 15. That might be sufficient. And we'll do that on the other block as well, on the other path. 15. There we go. Now let's see, does that button still work? Looks like it. Okay, so now we can come up here, push that, and watch it drain. It's going to take a little bit longer to drain. I really like that effect. That's neat. That is really cool. Okay, we already tested that button up there. And I'm pretty sure this one's going to work as well, as far as being able to not press it twice. Don't really want to hang around to find out though. So we're going to use the button and then get out of here. Whoa. Yeah, this is giving me a little bit more time. So 15 might be a little bit too much. I might want to set that to maybe 18 would be sufficient. So there, that worked out pretty well. So now that'll give us access to that key and ability to get to that gate. Now right now, I can close this off and drain this. And there's really no reason that I have to be able to fill that up and run that gauntlet. Because at the moment I can come over here and hippity hop across these vents over here. And there's no problem. I can keep on going. So in order to force the user, the player, to have to be able to raise, or to have to raise that lava again, I wanted to make it so that they can't get across this while the lava is lowered. So that in order to finish this area and then proceed, they're going to have to raise that lava back up. And so one of the things I thought we could do is if the lava is drained, maybe that would run some machinery. And these would be large vents for hot steam. And so I'm going to place a locator on top of each of these and connect up an effects generator. and a trigger area I'll put on top of each of these. So that if they try to jump on this while the steam is going, they'll die. So we'll go ahead and I think we can leave it like that. That's fine. Then come to the opposite corner and adjust the size of this to try to match the vent here a little bit. And I'll do that for each of these. And then we'll go ahead and hook up the effects generator. And for right now, I'll just set this over here out of the way. And we'll connect this up to each of those locators. And I'll do the other ones offline here in a moment. So when I run through here and we turn this on, so coming out from this gate, we'll come over to the effects generator and we'll play looped. A smoke plume. And I'll do that on each of those locators. And the other thing I'll do is come up here and on each of these trigger areas we'll go ahead and activate those. And likewise, when we come out of this logic gate, we'll go ahead and turn off the smoke. And we'll turn those trigger areas off so that I can run through them without any problem. And last, when the trigger area is entered by player Annie, you want to come over here to my kill switch, which I set up for the earlier falling debris. And we will defeat the player that runs through that trigger area. So to recap, pressing this button will now not only lower the lava, but start the steam on these vents, and also turn on that trigger area so that if you try to run through there while the steam's going, you'll die. And when you press this button, that will stop the steam and it'll deactivate each of these trigger areas. So I'll go ahead and hook those up and be back in just a moment. Okay, I've got each of these trigger areas hooked up to the kill switch so that if you run through this while those are active, you'll die. And I've got this logic gate over here set up to activate each of those trigger areas, as well as turn on the effects generator with the smoke. And that's now hooked up to each of the 4 locators. I've also got the logic gate under here. This button connected to each of these trigger areas to deactivate them when that button is pushed, as well as turn off the smoke. And I've gone ahead and raised the lava so that we can kind of demonstrate this. So I'll come back out here, and right now with the lava in the raised position, I can come over here and hippity hop across each of these without any problems. So no trouble at all. But now, if I come over here to the button to lower the lava, you'll notice that starts the smoke, so the machinery is running, And the lava is draining. And if I come over here and try to cross this now, nope, not going to let me. So the only way to get across those now is to turn the lava off, but I can't do that from this button. I can push it, but nothing will happen because this logic gate is closed, which means I have to come down here over to this button. And see if I can get in a position here where we can see the smoke. And we'll see it when we come up the ramp here. So now the lava's rising. You can see the smoke has stopped. Whoa! Better hurry, Stitch. I think I might leave that set at 15, because if you have a little hiccup there, like I just did, you're not going to have time to get out of there. So the 15 speed seems to be good to allow you to recover. So now the lava is back up, the smoke has stopped, and now I can once again cross this without getting hurt. And then we can move on to the next area. Hooray! So I really like how this turned out. This was a really fun lava puzzle to make. I think this will be a lot of fun to play, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. So subscribe to my channel or sign up for my blog to see what we do next in this series. You'll find logic diagrams and yeah, do the Bill and Ted guitar there, Stitch. That's awesome. So anyway, you can find logic diagrams and build tips on my blog for the different challenges that we make. And again, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.